How dare you slap my son!
The moment Patricia Harwood slapped a disabled black boy in his own driveway, the neighborhood's mask finally cracked. Jaylen Wells sat frozen in his wheelchair, cheek burning, while the HOA president screamed that he was a violation, an eyesore, someone who never belonged on her street. She even reached to shove him out of his chair. She had no idea his father was steps away, hearing every word, hearing that slap, and already moving toward her with the kind of fury that only comes when someone harms your child. On a warm Sunday morning in Maple Ridge Estates, the neighborhood looked calm enough to fool anyone who didn't know better. Soft sunlight stretched across trimmed lawns and kids pedaled their bikes along the sidewalks. But beneath that peaceful surface, something else simmered, something every resident pretended not to see. And it always centered around one house, the Wells family home. Tyrone Wells, a black Marine veteran known for his steady posture and silent strength, lived there with his wife and their 11-year-old son, Jaylen Wells. Jaylen, paralyzed from the waist down since the accident 2 years earlier, moved through the world in a sleek wheelchair that Tyrone customized himself. Then Patricia, recently elected president of the HOA, strutted through Maple Ridge Estates like she owned the ground beneath her feet. The position inflated her ego, but it didn't change what everyone already knew. Patricia's hatred for the Wells family ran deeper than neighborhood rules. She hid racism behind regulations, discrimination behind standards, and cruelty behind the thin smile she used for everyone who wasn't black. From the moment Patricia won the HOA vote, she began zeroing in on Tyrone's family. Residents noticed Patricia watching Jaylen from her porch. Then one particular morning, Jaylen set up bright orange cones in the driveway, determined to practice turning and maneuvering. The boy moved confidently, sunlight catching the chrome edges of his wheels. Tyrone watched from the porch, quiet but proud. Then the mood changed instantly. Patricia Harwood stepped out of her house clutching her HOA clipboard, lips pursed, eyes locked on Jaylen as if the boy's existence violated her sense of order. Patricia's footsteps hit the pavement, hard, deliberate, each one charged with the authority she believed the neighborhood owed her. Without hesitation, Patricia veered off the sidewalk and marched straight toward Jaylen Wells, ready to create a scene no one asked for. Patricia stormed across the sidewalk so fast her sandals slapped against the pavement. She wasn't walking. She was marching with purpose and anger, face twisted, HOA clipboard bouncing at her hip. "Hey!" Patricia screamed before she even reached the driveway. "Hey! What do you think you're doing? That wheelchair is a major violation. You can't just ride that thing anywhere you please." Jaylen froze mid-turn. The boy blinked up at her, confused by the force in her voice. Jaylen responded softly, "I can't walk without it. I'm just practicing." Patricia threw her hand up sharply. "As HOA president, I make the rules here. And that thing," she stabbed a finger at the wheelchair, "is an eyesore. It drags down the entire property value of this street." Jaylen's face tightened. He opened his mouth, but Patricia wasn't finished. "And honestly," Patricia said loudly so the neighbors on the corner could hear, "you are an eyesore too. People like you don't belong in a neighborhood like this." Jaylen swallowed hard. Patricia leaned in to continue her rant, but Jaylen, with all the strength he had, said quietly, "I live here. You can't talk to me like that." Patricia's eyes blew wide with disbelief. And then it happened. She snapped. Patricia swung her hand and slapped Jaylen across the face, so loud the sound cracked through the air like a whip. "Don't talk when I'm talking," she screamed, voice shaking with rage. Jaylen gasped, tears bursting instantly from the sting. But Patricia wasn't done. Not even close. "I'm not even sure you're really paralyzed," Patricia shouted, grabbing the side of the wheelchair. "You're probably faking it for attention." Then she tried to push the boy out of the seat, fingers digging into the handles as she shoved. But that was the last moment Patricia touched anything on that driveway, because Tyrone Wells had already heard the slap. Have you ever seen someone abuse their little bit of power so badly it puts a child in danger? What would you do if an HOA president slapped your disabled son and tried to push him out of his wheelchair? Before we get into it, what city or country are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments. We love seeing where our viewers are tuning in from. If you believe no HOA president has the right to lay a hand on a child, Smash that like button and subscribe to Story Arc, because some moments aren't about rules at all. They're about protecting the people you love. He didn't walk, he ran. By the time Patricia leaned in to shove again, Tyrone reached them, face carved with fury, and drove a full, clean, devastating punch straight into Patricia's face. The impact dropped her instantly. One moment, she was towering over Jaylen. The next, she was flat on the pavement, screaming. Patricia hit the ground hard, one hand clutching her cheek, the other scraping against the concrete as she tried to push herself upright. The shock on her face wasn't from the pain. It was from the realization that Tyrone Wells had reached her faster than she ever expected. Jaylen's wheelchair rocked slightly from where she'd tried to shove him, but Tyrone was already at his side, steadying it with one hand while staring down at Patricia with a look that made the entire street go silent. Jaylen's cheek was bright red from the slap, and tears tracked down his face as he clung to Tyrone's arm. "You put your hands on my boy," Tyrone said, voice low, controlled. "Then you tried to push him out of his chair." Patricia scooted backward on her elbows, panic rising in her throat. "He started it!" Patricia shrieked, voice cracking. "He disrespected me!" He talked back. "I'm the HOA president. I can do whatever I want if it's a violation." Neighbors began stepping out of their homes. Phones came out. Video recordings started. Nobody moved to help Patricia. Patricia scrambled to her feet, wobbling. She pressed her palm against her cheek, as if she were auditioning for a hospital drama. Then she yanked her phone from her pocket with shaking hands and dialed 911 so fast her fingers fumbled across the screen. "Yes, yes, I need the police," Patricia shouted, loud enough for half the street to hear. "A black man just attacked me. He punched me in the face. Send someone immediately. It's an emergency." Tyrone didn't move. He stood beside Jaylen, keeping one protective hand on the wheelchair and the other clenched loosely at his side. Not in anger, just readiness. "You go ahead and call," Tyrone said calmly. "Tell them everything." Patricia backed away toward the sidewalk, still screaming into the phone, still convinced she'd get the out she expected. She pointed at Tyrone wildly, shrill and dramatic. Within minutes, sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder, closer, sharper. And as the first police cruiser turned into Maple Ridge Estates, every neighbor kept recording, because they had seen everything. And this time the truth wasn't on Patricia's side. The police cruiser screeched to a stop in front of the Wells house, lights flashing across the neat lawns and shocked faces of neighbors. Officer Grant and Officer Reyes stepped out fast, hands already hovering near their holsters. Patricia sprinted toward them, waving frantically with one hand while holding her cheek with the other. "Officers! Arrest him! Arrest that man right now!" Patricia screamed, pointing straight at Tyrone as if she'd just uncovered a fugitive. "He attacked me for no reason. I'm the HOA president. He's dangerous." But Officer Grant didn't run to her. He didn't reach for his cuffs. He didn't go near Tyrone. He went to Jaylen. The moment Officer Grant saw the red handprint across Jaylen's face and the trembling in the boy's shoulders, his expression changed. He crouched down in front of the wheelchair. "Son," Officer Grant said gently, "what happened to you?" Jaylen wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. "She hit me," he whispered shakily, "and she tried to push me out of my chair." Officer Reyes' head snapped toward Patricia instantly. Patricia's eyes widened. "He's lying. That boy is lying. He was being disrespectful. I was correcting him. You can't believe him over." But she didn't get to finish. Mrs. Caldwell, the elderly woman from across the street, walked up holding her phone. "Officers," she said calmly, "I recorded all of it." Then Mr. Benton stepped forward. "So did I." Then the Morrow twins. Then the Holbrook family. Officer Reyes collected phone after phone, thumb-tapping play, each video replaying Patricia's slap, her hateful words, her attempt to shove Jaylen out of his wheelchair, and finally Tyrone's reaction when he ran forward. Not one video supported Patricia's version. Officer Reyes turned toward Patricia slowly, his voice steady but cold. "Ma'am, we saw the footage. You assaulted a disabled minor. You attempted to topple his wheelchair, and you filed a false emergency report." Patricia stumbled backward, panic flooding her face. No, I didn't. This is all twisted. You don't understand the HOA rules." Officer Grant grabbed her wrist and spun her around. "Patricia Harwood, you're under arrest." Patricia shrieked as the cuffs clicked. This is my neighborhood. You can't arrest me. I'm the president. I make the rules. Officer Grant led her toward the cruiser. Not anymore. Neighbors watched silently as Patricia was placed in the back seat, still screaming, still refusing to accept the reality closing around her. Tyrone knelt beside Jaylen, placing both hands on his son's shoulders. Nobody touches you, Tyrone said softly. Not while I'm here. And for the first time that day, Jaylen finally smiled, a small, shaky smile, but real. Maple Ridge Estates had changed forever. The truth had finally been seen, justice had landed where it belonged, and the Wells family stood taller than ever. If you believe bullies deserve every consequence they get, smash that like button and subscribe to Story Arc, because we'll keep exposing people who hide cruelty behind authority.